In a world hidden between mountains and shadowed forests, lies a continent untouched by ordinary fate. Illyrian, a land divided by power, by wealth, and by secrets. At its heart stands Ravenmoor City, where two worlds exist, but never meet. In Willowbrook, survival is a daily fight. In Brookwood Heights, power lives in silence. But fate does not respect boundaries, and when destiny awakens, it changes everything. This is where their story begins. In the shadow of mountains and forests lies Ravenmoor City, a place where secrets walk quietly among ordinary lives. In the quiet and humble Willowbrook district of Ravenmoor City lived a young woman named Elena Vale. Life had never been easy for Elena. After losing their parents years ago, she had become both sister and guardian to her younger sibling, Lena Vale. Their small apartment stood among rows of aging buildings and narrow streets filled with the voices of market vendors and passing buses. Every morning before sunrise, Elena would wake up, prepare a simple breakfast for Lena, and send her to school with a warm smile even when her own stomach was empty. To survive, Elena spent her days in the crowded Willowbrook market selling sachets of drinking water. It wasn't much, but it was enough to make sure Lena stayed in school. Elena believed that if Lena studied hard, her sister would someday escape the life of poverty they were trapped in. Meanwhile, across the city in the wealthy hills of Brookwood Heights, lived a man whose life was the complete opposite. Cale Knightwood. At only 28 years old, Cale was already the powerful CEO of Knightwood Enterprises, one of the most dominant and far-reaching corporations across the entire continent of Illyrian. His company controlled land development, conservation projects, and luxury eco-resorts. To the public, Cale appeared to have everything: money, power, respect. But behind the walls of his luxurious mansion, Cale lived a life of quiet loneliness. Servants moved silently through the halls of his home, yet he rarely spoke to them. The only person he truly trusted was his longtime friend and business partner, Rowan Ashford. Rowan had known Cale for years and understood the burden Cale carried. Because Cale had a secret that separated him from the rest of humanity. Cale was a werewolf. Like every werewolf born into the powerful Knightwood bloodline, Cale was destined to one day find his mate, the one person whose scent would call to his soul and bind their lives forever. Yet years had passed, and Cale had never found her. Some nights he stood alone on the balcony of his mansion, staring at the distant forests of Silverpine National Park, wondering if fate had forgotten him. Until one afternoon, everything changed. Cale had been driving through the lower districts of Ravenmoor on his way to inspect a new development project. His sleek black car moved slowly through the busy streets of Willowbrook. The noise of the market filled the air. Vendors shouted prices. Children ran between stalls. Motorcycles passed through the narrow road. Then suddenly Cale's senses exploded. A scent drifted through the open window of his car. Sweet. Warm. Irresistible. Cale's hands tightened on the steering wheel. His wolf stirred inside him.
Mate.
His golden eyes scanned the crowded market until they landed on a small stall near the edge of the street. A young woman stood there selling sachets of water. Her long dark hair moved gently in the afternoon breeze as she smiled kindly at passing customers. Elena Vale. Cale's heart began to race. After all these years, he had finally found her. His mate. But Elena never noticed the expensive car parked down the street. She never saw the powerful man watching her with stunned disbelief. Cale forced himself to drive away. His mind was racing. She's human. That night, Cale barely slept. The scent of Elena still lingered in his mind. The next morning, unable to resist, Cale returned to Willowbrook Market. But this time, he did something unexpected. Instead of arriving in his luxury car, Cale dressed in simple clothes, a plain shirt, worn jeans, and old sneakers. Anyone who saw him would assume he was just another ordinary man. Blending into the crowd, Cale walked toward Elena's stall.
Water! Cold water! Only 2 raven marks!
Elena called out to customers. Up close, her scent was even stronger. His wolf growled softly in approval. Elena looked up and smiled politely.
Water?
Cale nodded and handed her a small coin. Their fingers brushed as she passed the sachet to him. For a moment, Elena felt something strange and unfamiliar warmth spreading through her chest. She quickly looked away, embarrassed. Cale watched her carefully, hiding his amazement. She had no idea who he was. And somehow, he liked that.
You're new here.
Just passing through.
Elena studied him for a moment. There was something about him, his calm voice, the way he looked at her, that made her heart beat a little faster. "Stop it, Elena," she scolded herself silently. "He's just a customer." Cale smiled faintly.
Can I ask you something? Your phone number.
You move fast.
Life's short.
Elena hesitated, then slowly wrote her name and number on a small piece of paper and handed it to him. Cale folded it carefully and slipped it into his pocket.
Thank you.
And then he walked away. Elena watched him disappear into the crowd. Her heart was beating strangely fast. But the days passed, and the mysterious man never called. Each evening Elena found herself checking her phone, waiting, wondering. Yet somewhere across the city, in the quiet halls of his mansion, Cale stared at the piece of paper in his hand. He hadn't called. Not because he wasn't interested, but because he was afraid. Afraid that once Elena stepped into his world, her life would never be the same again. And deep inside, Cale knew one thing for certain. Fate had already begun its work. And there was no turning back.